Girl on fire. This is so exciting. Love, 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 love the theme. My name is Tiffany Bell, and I am a girl on fire.
I feel like you're less of a woman by not being like taking on the whole world. Like you can still be queen of your castle and have someone else come in and help assist the queen. There are plenty of people who are willing to help a queen continue to be who she is. Okay, it's not a tilt in your crown. It's right where it needs to be. So,
go getters, my girl on fire. What? You guys are girls on fire. I love it. I'm on fire for God. So to me, what a girl on fire is a woman who knows that you got to keep going, a woman of clarity and understanding, a woman that no matter what, you know your purpose is to press forward and do what God told you to do. That's what I think it is. So you stay strong, you stay on fire, you keep glowing and growing, and God bless you, okay? Just know that everything's all right, no matter what it looks like.
Midrin about you, we're gonna go ahead and just bust it wide open. Is that okay? Can we just deep dive? Because they really want to know. They're cute, but this is Girl on Fire, and the reason I really chose that name is because when I think of a girl on fire, quite frankly, yes, I think of myself. I'm all right, you know. But I do think of that woman who is a mover and a shaker. She is making things happen. She does make an impact in the earth, but not only for herself, the people that she links arms with, right? They can't help but to elevate. She's the type of woman when she comes in a room, because it can't be left the same. When she leaves out, there's value that has been deposited into the atmosphere. And so I know all of the women that are here, all of the women that you've heard before, after, what have you, from Girl on Fire, or anything from Jesus Coffee and Prayer Camp, they on fire. I'm gonna just tell you that right now, because that's just how we roll. But our goal is for every woman that watches is to leave empowered, equipped. Yes, we want her to be inspired, but we also want you to be challenged, queen, because if everything is gumdrops and rainbows and Skittles and kisses, how can we grow, right? The only way you grow is when you stretch. That's the reality. People want to grow. Oh, I want the money. I want the car. I want the whatever it is, insert, right? Whether it be physical, tangible, intangible, what have you, but they don't want the stretch. The stretch comes before the growth. So in this season, women have dealt with 2020 crazy, right? So we're in 2021, right? So you're watching this brand new year and you're ready to soar. These women are going to help you to soar. So we're going to jump right in. First, I have to be reality check. In some of the panels, it's been mixed. Some were married, some were not. But all of the queens here tonight, are married. All right. So we are all wives. Honey, this is the real housewives of Girl on Fire. Ooh, that might be a show. The Real Housewives of Girl on Fire. Don't get me started, honey. I have something out in 3 months.
From making $75,000 a year to $75,000 a month. You talk about a girl from the hood, a girl who ain't know nothing about having money in the bank. Literally. How's that happen? It's a God thing. It's a God divine timing thing. It's a divine orchestration with women like this who see greatness in you and are willing to open the doors.
Women of faith, and I'm gonna say this may hurt just a little bit. We think we can just stay in that little cubicle, that little corner. Oh, I know God, I can pray, I can do all this. We just do that. And we say things, I'm waiting on God. He's sitting back like, girl, can y'all tell them I'm waiting on them? They're not waiting on me. You're not waiting on me. It's already done.
Hello everyone, it's your girl Coco from SWV, and you're watching Girl on Fire, hosted by Jesus, Coffee, and Prayer. Now, my definition of a girl on fire is myself. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, a sister, a friend, entrepreneur. I'm fabulous, but most of all, I'm a king's kid. Much love and God bless.
God has graced you to create. He just gave that to me just now. I didn't have that before. He has graced you to create, right? So if the first thing our Heavenly Father did was create, so the question is, what has He called you to create?
Work for it. Work, work. Let me hear you say.
Love it, but you do multiple things as well, multiple businesses also. So talk to that person that's ready to level up. They got the basics, they got the foundation, they're networking, they're showing up consistently. Now they're saying, I want to level up. I want a consistent stream. I want to replace my 9-to-5. What are the top 3 tips or things they can do in this season, in 2021, to make that happen?
Well, the top thing I'm going to take from my 2020, the year of crazy, and so January, my whole year was focused on stepping out of my comfort zone more so than I ever have, and so I made it like my year of yes. Everything that came to me that made me feel uncomfortable, that made me feel like, you know, that in your gut, like you're almost ready to throw up feeling, because it's way out of your comfort zone. And I said, everything that comes to me that makes me feel just like that, I'm going to just say yes, and I'm just going to do it. And it was, I mean, 2020 was my year of leveling up, absolutely. And I really recommend that to so many people when they say, I'm just too shy, or I don't know what to do, and I really want more success, and I really want to be influential, and they're holding themselves back. And I say, well, just say yes to stuff that comes your way, because that's what's going to give you the experience. That's going to get you excited. That's what's going to put your face out there. And the more that you do it, the more comfortable you get, the more confidence that you get. So make 2021 the year of yes. I mean, 2020 it's done with, right? So let's move forward in 2021. So let's just say yes and build our confidence. So leveling up, I think that's really important, putting your face out there as much as possible, putting your name out there as much as possible, and just doing things that are different to just kind of expand yourself. So that's my first tip. The second is, I mean, you talked a little bit about reinventing yourself. And I think it's important to always be reinventing yourself, to always have it in your mind that you're never done, right? Like there's always something new. There's always something different. We're always learning. And the biggest thing is the people that you are influenced by and who your circle of influence is. And when you're leveling up, you got to take a really close look at who are the people that are cheering for you, right? Like, are they really cheering for you? Are they really excited when something happens? Are they first on the phone to say, girl, I'm so excited for you? Like, are they those people, or are they just kind of giving you a golf clap from afar, right? And so you got to really understand who the people are that are in your life, and start surrounding yourself with more influential people. If they have something that you know, a trait that you want to have yourself, if they have, you know, the confidence, if they've got something when you're looking up to them and you're like, girl, I need to be with you. And so go be with them, right? I think it's so important. And that's just it. And because I am a confidence coach and I help people get there, the biggest thing is, you know, when people think about that, they go, oh, there's no way I could go talk to her. And I say, yeah, girl, there is. There is. And those people are the ones that are so exciting to have those conversations with, right? So that's my second tip. And I think the third tip kind of really goes back to what Jenelle was saying, is having those multiple income streams, because that really, I mean, I know that you're talking about leveling up in one business, but having multiple income streams is so important for, I mean, it's important for confidence of all of your businesses, right? So that you feel secure, you feel like you're having success in all the areas, and you are, but not just having a lot of stuff going on, but really mastering each one. And so that's a big thing to me, I think, with leveling up, is that sometimes people, they just go, oh, I need to have the next step, and they get frazzled because there's so many ideas, and they start writing all these brainstorming notes, and they're like all over the place. And so, you know, just really focusing on one thing, and whatever that income stream is, master it. And it doesn't take a long time to master it, right, Jenelle? I mean, like, you focus on it for a bit, you learn it, you figure out what you need to do, and you do it, and then you move on, instead of having all the things. So I think it's really important to have, you know, have everything kind of step by step laid out, so that way you're not in all the directions at the same time.
I love that. First of all, can I just be clear? Can you say important again? I just love the way you said important. You're like, important, important. I'm sorry. Okay. I think it's so cute. You're adorable. But, but she's like, important, important. Look, we have queens. If I can't talk to you, whoever you are out in the world, right? If you can't come here and we can't have a good time, I know this is serious. I know you want to boss up, level up. It's 2021. You're not playing. But you know what? You got to smile. You have to be able to laugh. You have to be able to take a deep breath, because I can't say who everybody is. If you're anything like me, sometimes I feel like I'm big business Ben all the time. And I just need to whip a smile out or laugh or, and so I love that my husband and I, we can have that, and he's very serious, very passionate. He's an entrepreneur too. He's in music. And so that's one of the reasons we moved to Atlanta, because he is in the rap industry. And so we've made some amazing connections already here, but he is my comedian as well. They say if you want to get to a woman's heart, make her laugh. And so with me being, and then he come in and do something crazy, and I'm like, boy, you crazy, go sit down, So I say all that to say we got to be able to smile and laugh with each other. So I thought that was super cute. But I also wanted to just piggyback on what you said, when you talked about, now I know queens all over the world can jump on that. It's like everybody else is winning. Oh my gosh, girl, you're amazing. Woo! And then as soon as you put out one post, it's like, cricket. You're like, is this thing on? Where's my phone? Let me reboot my phone. Let me reboot. Facebook doing an update. That's why I can't come through. Hold on. No, it's still 0. So, or at least that's what we feel, but maybe we're internalizing, ladies, sometimes we can, we get a little, here's the deal. What I tell folks, and I tell my daughter this because she's getting older, she's 13, if you can master your feelings, if you can master your emotions, notice I didn't say mask. I didn't say mask. I just said, if you can master your emotions, meaning don't let them control you. I completely understand that I have emotions, and sometimes I'm happy and sometimes I'm sad or whatever, but they can't stop me from my assignment, my calling, what God has placed in my life. Like, I have a nevertheless attitude like nobody's business. It's like, what? Okay, well, honey, we got to get back. It's like the train. It's like, so my husband's like, you just steamrolling, honey. I'm like, look, the train is leaving the station. And you got a couple options, but I only have one. And that's because it's just going to move forward, because the calling over my life is too deep. I know that it is beyond me. Not that I'm all that in a bag of chips. It's who God is in me and who he wants to bless, who he wants me to reach. And I'm not going to stop that. Matter of fact, the mission will still take place with or without me. Hey, I'm on his train. So, so I just can't play any games with that. So I love how you said that, and just really being in a season where you're paying attention, who's with you and who's not. It doesn't mean just the one time they didn't see your post, but I look for trends. I'm very big into trends, coming from the corporate world. For those who don't know me, corporate world, 15 years, did very, very well. Leadership, development, traveled all over the country, internationally. We skilled up first level, second level, mid-level directors. I was in the room with the VP and the president, and we were talking about just different things that we needed to do to escalate, to increase productivity, and bottom line, get to the money. And so that's the type of thing that I did. And one of the things we focused on was trends. Instead of getting excited when people would show you, oh, look what I did last month. That's great, dear. Let me see the last 3 months. Then let me see the last 3 years. Now let me look through that. I'm very data-driven, decision-making, and also fun. So I kind of have both of those worlds, but it's the same thing for us all, right? Let's look at the trends on those friends. Look at the trends on those friends. Come on, that rhymes. Are they with you? Is it only when you're winning? Who was that? Oprah? She said, I'm going to mess it completely up, but it's not about who's with you in the limo. It's when the limo breaks down, who's helping you push it, or even willing to help you push it, right? That's what I'm looking for in this season, personally. Like, I just don't have time. I can't. I won't. I just be like, I haven't heard from Nakita. You sure haven't? So anyway, God bless them. So keeping it moving, I love that. So let's talk a little bit about what I heard all of you say in some facet, whether you said it or not, is that you've got to take time to get to know you, your business, what you're here for. I heard diversification in your business, streams of business, different streams so you can level up. Let's talk about the thing that people don't like to talk about. And I don't know why. They're in business, but they don't like talking about money. That's crazy. You got to talk about money in your business. It is the bloodline of your business. So let's talk about the importance of investing in you, physically, like your mental, your mind, getting yourself together, your self-care. But let's also talk about the investment in your business. Like sometimes you need a coach. You need someone higher than you to take you where you need to go. So let's talk about that. Michelle, talk about the importance of investing, being willing to invest in yourself. Have you seen where that's taking you in your business and where you're going? So just kind of share with the women.
So I want to be that. I just want to start out by saying this is all when I do a conference and I do a seminar and I tell people, you know, when you go to that conference and you're sitting in the back and they're like, you know, I started from the bottom and I can get you from where you are right now and I can get you over here and you're all hyped and you're all ready. And then at the end, like 30 minutes in, they go, all you got to do is give me $10,000 right now. And then you go, because if I had $10,000, I wouldn't be sitting in this room right now. So I want to talk to those people who feel like that you cannot start a business, that you cannot be successful if you don't have millions in the bank. Because again, we had 7 kids. We were moving all over the place. So we didn't have a lot of money sitting around in the bank. So what I did was I made sure that I tried to find my additional ways to bank for myself. And so it was groceries, it was bills, and then whatever was left over, what sacrifices I need to do, because I knew that down the line, I was going to invest that into myself. So I built my own separate bank account, my own separate funds. That's what I pushed to the side, and I didn't touch it. I did not have an ATM card for it. I didn't have access for it. It was just ways for me to deposit that money into it. As soon as they sent me that ATM card, cut it up, because if I had access to it, I will always create a reason for why I needed to go in there. Every emergency would justify me going into that bank account. But if I couldn't get in it, then I can't touch it. And you would be amazed at how much $10 a week, $25 every couple of weeks, $50 a month. I literally had my payroll to do $50 a month into that bank account. And I was really thrilled that 6 months later, there was thousands of dollars sitting in. It was real simple. That $50 came out before I even got my paycheck, so I didn't even see it. I didn't feel it. I didn't even touch it. So it was before my check got to me. I didn't have to put 50 in. I just assigned that. So start setting up a plan and ways for you to start. But you also have to look at the businesses that you want to get into. So sometimes we kind of, as Nakita touched on, and I think all the ladies touched on, we have a tendency to look at other people and we say, okay, well, tomorrow I want to get to that step, but you don't know the story. You don't know the journey. And so instant success is only on television. It is only in a script. Instant success does not come to anyone. So what I would tell you is you have to make sure. I had a young lady to send me a text. A friend of mine's daughter sent me a text just a couple of days ago and wanted to know if I would invest into her business. And I love her. She's like a child of mine. But my first response back to her was, where's your business plan? And so she's 18, 19. But it is about planting those seeds and reminding you are not helping someone if you are not taking them through the steps that they need to do to be successful. So success is not an overnight thing. Success is not it's not a climb. Success comes with really highs and really lows. But you have to plan for those lows. Plan out for those bottom out. If you know that you're going to start a hair business, then plan on the fact that you're not going to make a profit for the next 3 years. Are you ready to do that? If you're not ready to do that, if you do not have the backup plan where you can pay your bills for the next 90 days, at the minimum 90 days. If somebody tells you 30 days, then throw that book away. Don't ever listen to that. So 90 days. If you cannot pay all of your bills for 90 days, then you need to make sure that you maintain that job. Even when I was at my job, I knew that I still had my businesses running in the background until I was financially able to walk away from my jobs is when I did that. Be smart about it. Don't get angry. Don't get cocky. Don't sit there and say, well, you know what? I made $5 last week, so I know that I'm a mogul now. So I'm going to go ahead and walk away from this daily job and be able to, no. Because that may be the only $5 that you make for the next 6 months. So you have to make sure that 90 days worth of planning and finances, money, not your mama's money, not anybody else's money, hard, cold cash, 90 days worth is sitting into the bank before you start making rash decisions. The next thing that you have to do is you have to do a business plan, because this business plan has to guide you for the next 5 years. And do not be afraid of going back to that business plan and looking at the numbers that you held yourself to. If you create a budget, stick to that budget. When people go out there and start businesses without a budget, without a financial plan, is where you end up doing those impulse spends, and then you look back and there's no money for the business. So if you know in the first year that I've budgeted out that I can't spend more than $5,000 invested into this business for this year, then you map out, you take 12, divide that into that 5,000, that tells you what your monthly budget is going to be. And then if you are doing things per week, you divide that by 4, that's going to tell you what your weekly budget is going to be, and you stick to that. But just like you ladies also talked about, surround yourself with someone who is in the position where you want to be, not where you are, where you want to be. Don't surround yourself with them because of the money. Don't think that they're going to be your bank account. But what you can do is you can watch how they manage. You can ask them to help you with your budget. You can ask someone, and listen, I can tell you right now, Nakita and I don't know each other, but if I went to Nakita and I said, Nakita, please look over my business plan and tell me if I'm on point, because being the queen that she is, she may not give me everything for free, but she will at least give me 5 minutes to look on it and say, listen, queen, this is not a realistic plan. The second thing, the main thing that you also have to understand with businesses is you have to take your feelings out of your finance. I'm gonna say that one more time. Take your feelings out of your finance. Money is tangible, feelings is infinite, it's wonderful, it's warm and fuzzy. But when you are walking into that bank and you're looking for somebody to ask for a loan, or if you're even trying to get a loan from family or from friends or from or your affiliate marketing, you're trying to get some funds and stuff from that, you have to know your numbers. If you do not know your numbers, you are walking in for a setup. And knowing your number, and if you know that you're not strong with numbers, then that means that you need to find someone and partner with someone who is. And if that person tells you that this year you can't buy that printer that you wanted to buy for the office because you wanted it to be really cute, then okay, then this year you need to start putting that money into another bank account to save up for that printer that you want to get in the next year. So 2020 was a hard hit for everybody, and everybody took a lot of hits with finances and whatever, but for most of us queens during 2020, the reason that we were able to continue to make money is because in 2019, we had a plan that was already in play for 2020. So we took a little bit of curve, but that plan had a backup plan to the backup plan to the backup plan. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Never sit around and think that your money is the only thing that is going to carry you through. Set those numbers. Be true to your numbers. If you're not really diligent with that $5,000 that you put into the bank, what makes you think that you're going to be able to do that $5 million that's in that business? If you can't manage the 5,000, 5 million will go away really, really quick. And then you'll be bankrupt even faster. So start now, start small, be proud of being small. Learn those lessons when the loss is a minimal. I'd rather lose $2 than $2 million. But if I haven't learned my money at $2, then once I build up to $2 million, I won't be able to. And we all have looked around and saw businesses that launched, and then a year later, 2 years later, it was nowhere to be found. And that's because the money ran out. But if you plan it, if you map it out and stick with it. But also in business, just not about the finances, in business, you always surround yourself and you put people in places that's smarter than, if you know that you're lacking in something, then lose that pride and hire someone that comes in that fills in the deficit that you have. So I know for me, because I done raised 7 kids, my attention span is probably really short. So I bring people in that really has the time to sit down and look and read all the way through and give all the details. But my husband is also a numbers person. So before I make any plan on the 6 businesses that we run, then he sits down and he goes through the numbers, because I'm smart enough to know that that's just not my wheelhouse. That is not what is going to interest me. Now, when it comes down to the marketing and the speaking and everything, they're going to come to me. So numbers, money is tangible. Take your feelings out your finance. Make sure you set a budget. You stick with the budget. And if things change, go back and revisit that plan.
Queen, that is so good. You drop so many nuggets. Taking the feelings out is everything. Like, women especially, now studies will show, I don't have the studies in front of me, I'm sure we could look up Harvard or Forbes or Huffington Post or somebody like that, or Inc. magazine or whomever, and they will tell you typically men are better at numbers or keeping their feelings out, because women were nurturers, we're all of that, so those come with emotions and etc. When it comes to your book of business, that's what we was calling the corporate world, honey, your book of business. I don't care what you were doing, you had a book of business. I've literally been in the room with the VP or directors or what have you, and some poor soul would come in there and not know they book a business. Oh, well, you know, if I go back and look at XYZ, the report, wait a minute, you didn't know? Oh, honey, you couldn't catch me. You would not catch me. Never, ever. And I'd be like, look, let me tell you. So last quarter, boop, 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 and go straight into it. And that's the same way if you're serious. Here's the deal. Are you serious about your business, or is this a hobby? I think in this season, some of my queens and fellas too have to get serious and say, what I'm doing, is it a business? It is a hobby. Is it a hobby? I have a litmus test. Are you making money? Are you making money? I see a lot of activities on social media, and everybody, of course, everybody's virtual now. This is virtual, brought to you by Virtual. Thank you, Lord. But, you know, y'all didn't know Virtual was a proud sponsor of this, Virtual. But what I'm saying to you is, are you making money? It's just real simple. Either you're making money or not. It doesn't mean that you don't ever do, to Janelle's point, that you don't do things that might be a freebie. But even in that, it's really not a freebie, because if you did it right and with authenticity, I'm not talking about everything you do is some calculated chess move to come back and be queen of Zootopia. I'm saying that for the most part, 80-20 rule, right? That it should lead to money at some point. I know for me as a publisher, many things that I do when I'm connecting with women, it's the long term, you know, because just being honest, the Queen Services is not $2.99. It does cost money. You typically are spending racks. If we talk about publishing your life's purpose that's going to bless the world, and, you know, glory to God, books are bestsellers, international bestsellers. We have a 100% track record. So we know what we're doing with this to get you in the game. But what I'm saying with that is, you have to know your book of business. You have to know how you're going to get there. If you're not making money month over month, something need to give. It doesn't mean that you don't have a great product or service. Maybe you're not pitching it right. Maybe you're not, who you thought was your target market is really not your target market. And can I just free somebody real quick? Your target market is not your sister, brother, mama, daddy, cousin, uncle, best friend, TT and them, or whomever. They're not. They love you. Don't get mad at them if they don't want to buy that product for the 18th time. They don't want my family. They don't want the 28th book. Okay, girl, we know you out here doing your thing. You selling them books, girl. I don't want no book. I mean, you want no book. I'm trying to get it, but you want a book. But I'm saying say that to say, find out who wants that book though, where you can give them all 28 or whatever your book of business is. Okay. I'm joking here, but I'm being honest. I hope you guys are picking up these clues from these amazing women. So, and I love how you, Michelle, brought it from the aspect of saving the money, finding ways to pull the money, the resources, right? I know for me, when I was really grinding it out, I'm telling you, honey, nails wasn't getting done, lashes wasn't getting done. Husband probably didn't like a couple petties was missed. Look, it was what it was. I'm just being honest because it was important. What I wanted to achieve was more important than me paying for all this gel and powder and pink tips and all of that. Now, since I came a little bit, I just started getting my nails done again. And when I say just, probably like the last 3 months. I'm being honest with you, I was doing it myself. And even with that, I'm still not getting my per usual acrylic gel. I might get the gel polish, but that's about it. You know, lashes, yours truly. Okay, you know, if I got a big photo shoot, maybe I'll get my queen makeup artist. Shout out to Voir Belle, that's my makeup artist here in the A, she's thebomb.com. But I'm saying all that to say, you got to pick and choose what's important to you, right? If you really want to go somewhere with your business and bless people, you got to make a decision. So love that. So talk a little bit about investing in you. Cynthia, talk about that. And when I mean investing in you, I'm talking about coaching, next level up. Like, what does that mean? Is that something you recommend? Like, what are your thoughts on women being willing to invest in their future?
All right, thank you. I think both you and Miss Michelle made some amazing points. When it comes to investing in yourself, it's really important to do research. So there are a lot of business coaches today. There's a lot of people who, of course, are promising they can take your business to different places, but I recommend highly to do some research on that person. How long ago did they start their company? Can you find some real testimonials? Can you find the people online who actually supposedly are in these testimonials? Like, make sure you don't invest wrong because it can be super, super costly. Last year, I decided, you know what? I want to get rid of the baby weight. I want to change. My whole mind shifted right after my birthday. And I was like, okay, I want to just change everything in my business. I want to invest in myself. And so the first investment I made was taking control over my health. Okay, like getting my health back, because that affected my mind, it affected my decision making in business. And I honestly believe that if I had not taken the time to try to focus on getting my health back, I don't know where the health of my business would be today. It's deeper. It's much deeper than just, oh, I lost some weight. I have lost 58 pounds and praise God for that. And as of tomorrow, my birthday is tomorrow. So I would have lost in 1 year 58 pounds. But it's thank you, Queen. But it's much more than that, because there was so much more weight that was associated than just physical. And so once that weight came off of my body, came off of my mind, I was able to refocus on the things I actually was passionate about, which was my business. I actually, back earlier in 2019, 2018, after I had my son, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I don't have anybody to help guide me in where I feel like I need help. And just like Miss Michelle was saying, it is important to leverage the strengths of other people. Same thing I was saying about the house. Leverage the strengths, the skill, the time of other people who are either where you want to go or able to do whatever it is that you need assistance with. For me, I realized you've gotten to as high as you can go in business alone. What are you going to do now? You've made some money. You haven't made as much as you wanted. You've met some great people. You don't have the perfect clientele that you're looking for right now. What is it that you want? And so I had to sit down, and I literally got before God, and I said, okay, you promised me this future. I'm seeing something that looks amazing, but right now I'm crumbling, and I need someone who can guide me in where I'm struggling. Like, how do I shift the layout of this business? This is what I do. Okay. I'm an expert at what I do. Can you show me which systems I think would be best? Okay. Because I'm a technical person, but there's so many different systems out there, right? Wealth and growing your business is something you have to plan. Wealth is systemized. People who are successful, they have systems, they have support, and they are leveraging their team. Okay. And they are maximizing their tools through the skill sets of other people. And so this year I was going through the motions of finding a business coach. I was like, okay, I'm gonna find a coach. Didn't know how much a coach was going to cost me, but let me show you the difference between a hobby and a business. When the pandemic happened and the government was releasing extra funds, those that had a hobby didn't get it. Those that had a business that was registered, verified, solidified, and in position got their money. Okay? And that money for anybody in 2020 was the perfect opportunity for you to sit down, reinvest, and be creative with where you wanted to take your business. It was a seed. It was a seed. This is 2021. We are walking in a harvest like never before. So if you didn't sow your seeds in 2020, I don't know where you're going to be, but it's a good time to start. So when the money was released, I said, okay, I'm going to take this. I'm going to sit and pray about it. Like, I got this money. Woo! What are we going to do? And the first thing that came back to my mind was, you need a business coach. And I was like, business coach. Okay, all right, cool. I need a coach. I need this, need that. And so I went on a journey. I kept searching and looking for a coach. What do you do? How can I verify who you are? And I finally came across a business coach. The business coaching program was $5,000. Okay. When Jenelle talked about having some skin in the game, when you talk about, thousands of dollars to have somebody help coach you, people are like, oh, that's a scam. Be careful and leery of people who immediately attest value as a scam. Okay. I made the investment and it changed my whole life. Not only did I make my money back just once, twice, 3 times over, I've made my money back. And I have been able to reposition how I am and bring other people aboard that can help me, that I can take with me, because I took the chance. I took the leap of faith and decided that it wasn't about just the money. It was about, do I believe God or not? Am I trusting him or not? How much is peace worth to you, Cynthia? How much is moving forward worth to you? Is $5,000 going to stand in the way of you becoming a millionaire? If you think $5,000 is more than being a millionaire, you're not ready to be wealthy. You're not ready. You're not ready for the increase. Because once you become a millionaire, don't you know there's so much more you'll have to invest? It never stops. Money is a current. It continues. You have to constantly reinvest. You can never get tired of reinvesting, casting your stuff upon the water. You have to. The way that life is set up is give and you shall receive. Okay. It's give and you shall receive. It's give and you shall receive. That principle works no matter what you believe in, because it's the way that life is set up. We were created by a giver. He gave us life, right? So it never stops. The principle of giving is something that we will forever have. So that I highly recommend somebody, if you are concerned about a business coach, do your research. Talk to somebody who has had a business coach, okay? If you feel like that what they are offering is well out of your price range, save, okay? Miss Michelle gave some great points. I think one of the biggest issues that a lot of entrepreneurs fall into in business is, how do I balance this? Do I take it out of the business bank account, or do I pay myself? Pay yourself, okay? Like, there are things that we need to be talking about in motion that will help with money, but I highly recommend to surround yourself. I preached this one message at church one time called The Cost of Purpose. And I talked about how purpose is going to cost you time. It's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you energy. It's going to cost you friendships, relationships. You got to be willing to push on no matter what. Just like you said, Nakita, the train keeps going. Honk, honk, we're on our way. Okay, there's a purpose and there's people following that we haven't even met yet. I don't have time to wait around because it rained today. So what, it rained? The sun will be out tomorrow. Okay, you have got to keep on pushing. You've got to be willing to invest, but the cost of purpose may be your time. Okay, it may be that you can't get your nails done. I just started getting my nails done too, girl. Okay, just started getting this hair light. I just started back. I did my own makeup tonight. Okay, I just started back doing the things I've always dreamt of doing, but I'm able to do those things now because of making the investment in myself. I didn't just pay my coach, who I still have today and have an amazing system for. I didn't just pay my coach, I paid myself. When you make an investment in your business, you are making an investment in you. So stop shortchanging yourself and making yourself believe that you're not worth it. Because when you tell yourself you're not willing to invest in the very thing you need to change your life, you're telling yourself you're not worth it. And is that the message you want to go to sleep thinking about every night? I'm not worth it. I highly doubt that. You're worth it. Every penny, every tear, everything you ever been through, you're worth it. You're worth it. Your children are worth it. The people that you're taking care of, it's worth it. I've heard this a lot, and I actually heard Dr. Cheryl say this, love her. She was talking about how Dr. Miles Monroe was saying the wealthiest place on earth is the grave because people die with their dreams. But you know what? When I die, I'm gonna die so empty. The grave won't get any wealthier because of me. And I'm not gonna bring nobody there with me either. They gonna know the Lord by the time they're done, and their business is gonna be where it's supposed to be. And in excellence, they will get there, but the grave will not be any wealthier on my behalf. I'm not gonna die full, I'm gonna die empty. Make the investment. That's a part of your emptiness. And not the emptiness that doesn't leave you whole, the emptiness that will fulfill you later. Be whole in everything. Wholeness is more than just, I feel good today, I feel healed today. Wholeness is a completion that can only be found in Him. Trust Him, and stop being afraid. Trust His perfect love. Let that cast out fear and walk in who you are. It's only one of you. He's not redoing Cynthia's. He's not redoing Nakita's. He's not redoing Michelle's or Jessie's or Janelle's. He's not redoing them. He made one because you're just that special. You're just that unique. You're just that amazing. He only made one of you. And if you don't do it, unless He decides to assign it somewhere else, it won't get done. There's always something else that wouldn't have been done because you decided to allow fear to tell you that making an investment in yourself, however much it is, if it's worth your peace, it just wasn't worth it to you. Tell your children that when they're going to college. Okay? Tell yourself that when you want to go on vacation and you can't. How much was it worth it to you? It's more than money. You'll make it back. Make the investment.
Okay, now I'm fresh out of cash, but I know if somebody got a collection plate, because we about to pass it through. Come on, pass it. We passing it through. We passing the collection plate. We all putting money in. We sending it over to Cynthia. Boom, we just got it. Just boom. I know your life was just blessed because of that, because mine was. And I got on this leather coat trying to look cute, but chills was still coming through the coat. Okay, trying to look cute. It was still, that is so... You got to, Queen. I mean, many things we're saying, many things the women will say, and as we wrap it up here in a little bit, but you gotta be willing to invest in you. It's the level up. I think I shared this with another group of the queens, but I remember when I first came into my business, because I was doing the full-time job and the part-time hustle, but it really was full-time. That's why I knew it was time. Because it was full-time, it was time, because the sister was super tired. I was up at 6 in the morning and going to bed at 2 in the morning the next day. And my clients went, Nakita, you still up? Yes, girl, that book we got there, it's the deadline. So I'm trying to get it in, girl. Let me check with the format. I don't know what they, but that's how passionate I was, because I wasn't going to let my business skimp to the side, because back in 2000 and I think it was 2011, I had my first business. And for those who don't know, I used to be a fitness trainer, and I was doing good. I had lost weight, and the people that I was working with the job, they saw me lose the weight, and they knew I was working out and doing everything I needed to do. I lost like over, 70, 80 pounds and it didn't take long. It was probably like over 4 months. Because one thing about me, it's almost, my husband and I both are like this, and we joke, but it's true. Like, we have an addictive behavior. And what I mean by that is when we own something, it's like, whatever the goal is. And that's part of, it's a great thing. It's helped me to be who I am in Christ, which I know boasted in me. In Him, I am a winner. He's created me to be that way. That's why when I go for something, you just forget. You just go ahead and write the check on that, baby, because it's getting done. You can believe that. That's a check you can cash. It will get done. Okay. And so have Fantasy Fitness, and that was the name of it, Fantasy Fitness, where we make all your fitness dreams come true. A reality, honey. I thought I was cute too. And so I had my building. People would get off of work and they were coming to the fitness place with me, and it was great. But then I got to that place. What you pray for? Oh, business is booming. But then I got to that decision. Well, Nakita, what are you going to do? You've been with your company, benefits, 401k, pension, you know, you've got a decent schedule, you make more than most of the folks you grew up with growing up from the hood. So that wasn't even a litmus test on that. You definitely done made it out. So what are you going to do? Are you going to give that up for this fantasy fitness? And in that moment, I couldn't make a decision. I also was not as strong as I am today in Christ. It's not the same woman. I mean, that was 2011. I mean, decade ago, right? So I decided the job won. But I told myself, and I made a promise to God, I said, the next time you give me an opportunity where I know it's you, and you are blessing everything that I'm touching in that area, in that niche, so I know it's you, right? I don't care, I'm leaving. And that's exactly what I did this come around, right? So my last day on my corporate job was December the 30th of 2019. 2020 came and hit it by storm. You understand when I say storm? Storm. Go check my Facebook. But I'm just messing. To God be the glory for all of that. But the point I'm trying to make is you've got to be willing to invest. But as soon as I left, that was again at the beginning of the pandemic, was in March. January come, not making much. I got into a coaching program and it was crazy. I mean, the price was, but I already knew before I left the job, I said, I'm getting into that coaching program. I know that I really don't have that to give, and especially walking away, but I'm going to do it. And things happened and I didn't get to finish that particular coaching program out. But what I did realize when I spent the money, even though I didn't get everything I thought I was going to get, that wasn't the point. The point was God told me and showed me that I was willing to invest. He showed me that I had the guts to invest in me. And that's what I learned. And once I did that, anything else that came my way, because most things didn't cost as much as that cost me. Okay. And so I was like, bet if I spend money on that, okay, invest in my business. Okay. This software is $1,000. Okay. But guess what? If I spend it, it needs to double up. I need to get the double up, the triple up, the 7 up from whatever I spend the money on. So, but you got to be willing to invest, to say, I've got the guts. So I love that, Queens. So as we just toggle on here, right? You guys are so, don't you see how I could continue this? These women are amazing. Like, they're going to get me. I tell them a certain amount of time, but it's so good. I love, because this is how you learn. This is how you grow. This is how you level up in this season. So let's talk about, I want to get specific into your field so the women really walk away fully understanding not only what you do, but what peace of mind and what value you would bring to their life. And I'm going to say this real quick, and then we're going to round table it to each queen. And I want you to really deep dive in what you do. One thing I learned from sales, because again, I was in leadership development, but sales was definitely a part of it, and your sis was gangster with it, okay? And what I mean gangster, the people knew what I was selling, what I was doing, always lead with integrity. That should go without saying. That's the baseline. But what I found is people knew about the product or the service, and they knew how to tell people what it did for them. So let's make an example, water bottle, okay? The product is the water bottle. What is it going to do for you? If you take off the top, you can have a sip and you're going to drink. You're going to have some water. And they would stop there. They didn't know how to bridge the gap though. Well, Nakita, in order to live, you need to get this water so you can have it and drink. And when you drink it, it's going to keep you hydrated. So all of those conferences you have all day, you won't catch cotton mouth, and you won't be in there with your lipstick coming halfway off because your mouth is dry. And so therefore leaving a pore, like getting to the root of what it does for your person. So that's huge, you guys. Not only tell them about the product or the service or just the basics of what it does for them, but really paint the picture on how you're the game changer for their life. If you can do that, if you can tap into their emotion and their logic, they're ready to cut the check. And that's just being honest, right? And you're adding value and you're blessing their life at the same time. So I'm going to say that. So I want to kind of round table it. Let's start with Jessie. Go ahead and let us know just a little bit deeper, your main baby, the confidence coach, right? Unleashing your confidence. So when you have these clients, talk to me a little bit more about how you get them to take it to the next level. What are some of the fundamental things you do with them first to help them fully understand who they are, what their purpose to do? How do you get them to unleash that? Like, how do you add that real, infuse that real value in their life so they can level all the way up, all the way around in their life?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing that I do that I work with my clients is emotion. And we really talk a lot about, the emotion that you're feeling now. Maybe you're feeling scared, maybe you're feeling frustrated that you're not where you want to be in your business, all the different things that come up as you're building businesses. And I just, to kind of clarify, like, I really do work with women who are just kind of starting out, who have the drive to take that next step, that really, really want to have success. They want to be influential, but they're holding themselves back. And so I work with them on the emotion. And the biggest thing that we discover is, what do you want to feel? Like, where do you want your emotions to be? Do you want to be excited? Do you want to be successful? What does it feel like? And putting them into the feeling of where they will be when they have success is the biggest thing that we focus on every time that we have conversations. Because, as women, and I do have men clients as well too, but I find women so much more, even though we have these conversations weekly, we still go back. There's so many times we go back and we think, oh, I really, really want this, and we allow ourselves to go back to where we were before. And so it's a continuous thing, and it's something that we always need to be working on. So emotion is really important to me, as far as confidence goes, because as we accept the emotion, and I'm not saying to just disregard, if we're feeling fearful, or if we're feeling that we're not where we want to be, but accepting where we are and acknowledging it and understanding how we feel in that moment and releasing it and then moving forward. And so that's the biggest thing that we work with, as far as, building our confidence in the beginning. And then from there, we put ourselves into a more influential position. So we talk about our messaging. What kind of a message do you have based on your story? Like, we all have a message, we all have a story, right? And so many times when we start our business, we think, oh, I want to tell women this. And, we just kind of put something out there, but it really doesn't resonate with our story. It's not something that we can truly, truly talk about because we haven't lived it. And so I go through that with my clients as well too, like, what is it that you can share with people that you've lived that is really impactful and really powerful? And so then using that as the message to move forward in our business. And once we have that, I feel that we can be so much more powerful. We can be so much more confident in how we talk, in what it is that we're saying, in who we're serving, and how we're showing up. And it makes us more excited to show up too, like, if we don't have our message, if we don't have that excitement, then we don't show up. We just don't show up. Right. And so when you have that and you've got that powerful feeling inside you, you just can't wait to get it out there. You just can't wait to tell everybody what it is that you have to say. Right. And using your voice. And going back to my story, I was always, I said this in the beginning, I never used my voice. I never stuck up for myself. When I was younger, I would let things come by me that I didn't agree with, and I would sit back and I would stay quiet. And I was sick of it. I was sick of that person. I didn't want to be that person anymore. And I know that so many women have that. They don't want to be the person that they are. They know they can be so much more. And so that's who I work with, and that's how I help women to get their voice, to use their voice, and to be more powerful and influential.
I love that, Queen. Let me ask you, just to piggyback off of what you said, which is so good. So how did you get to that place for yourself? Because you talked about your story, and I don't care if you have a product, if you have a service, the reality is you have both. I don't care what you are. Again, I go back to this bottled water. It's a product, but the service and the story behind it typically is what sells it, right? I don't care what you do. If you sell shoestrings, the story behind who you are and how you got to this place, to this mighty shoestring, that's what's going to sell the shoestrings. Yeah. So getting to your story and having the confidence to share your story in such a way, here's the deal, you can share your story, and then there's a difference between me sharing my story in such a way that it resonates with folks and make them raving fans that they're willing to spend money with me, right? And again, not just about the money, but the way I look at it really quickly is when my bank account goes up, I look at that as, okay, Nakita, you're making a greater impact, because they should go hand in hand. If I'm making a greater impact in the earth with what God has purposed me to do and who he's called me to be, my bank account should go up. So if it's going down, One, I'm like, okay, yeah, we got bills now. Come on now, what we need to do? Well, who was that said they got all the money? Who was that earlier that was talking about all the money? Michelle. Was it Michelle? I think I got your address. But so I'm just messing. I'm just kidding. You know, somebody come back, Michelle, we watched that Girl on Fire, and that minister Nakita said she had an address. I'm just kidding. I would never. But but again, if the money is low, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. Yes, I'm like, okay, the money needs to come up. What do I need to do? How do I need to shift? But I'm also thinking about, you know what, Nakita, you're underserving your community, your tribe, the people that need you in this season. You're not reaching them. So I need to go back into the drawing board, whether that's the marketing, the PR, or whatever it is. I need to figure out quickly, how can I reach them so they can be served, because they are looking for me, just like they're looking for you. And just like whoever's watching this, they're looking for you. So talk a little bit more about how you got to the point, Jessie, to where you said, I need to make this shift. Because let's be real, there's one thing to say, I know, like Cynthia, I'm sure you had, as you talked about losing the weight in your journey, myself included, because like I said, I lost 80 pounds back in the day as well. Thank you. But it's a difference when you say, I know I need to. It's fair to say most adults know what they need to do. I know I need to stop spending all this money. I know I need to put this cake down. Like, we know, and then do. How did you get to the place of being a doer with your confidence so that you could resonate with your tribe?
It was a lot of practice. It didn't just come naturally for me. It was something that I really had to put myself out of my comfort zone, and it was tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it took me years to get to the position where I am now. It was a long journey, but the biggest thing is you just got to start. You got to believe that what you have inside you is something that other people need to hear. And I believe that. I always believed that, but I was always holding myself back, because I would say, I'm an introvert. I'm too shy. And I was like, it was just a day. I woke up and I was like, what am I doing? I have so much to give. And so I said, I'm just going to do it. I would do a Facebook Live. Look back at my old Facebook Live. They were train wrecks, but you know what? You just do it. You just do it. And you just put yourself out there until you feel comfortable. And that my program right now is I teach people how to put themselves out there on social media without paid ads, like just doing it, just getting yourself out there in your face in front of your audience so that your audience can know, like, and trust you, right? And so that's the thing. My audience never knew, like, and trusted me. They had no idea who I was. My face was never on social media. My face was never there, right? And so it's just really important, I think, to just do it. And that's really, there's not a whole lot of other things to say besides you just got to put yourself out of your comfort zone, right? That's where all the magic happens, all of it.
That's so good, Queen. I love that. So basically, I'm not going to say that. I was going to joke and say Nike is sponsoring this, but they're not at this time. But maybe one day, Nike CEO, if you just do it, women's style, conference style, hit me up. You can get my information, but you gotta just do it. Like, do it scared. Do it scared. Like, at the end of the day, I'm one of these people, and I know, and I'm very positive and I'm very optimistic. That's just who I am. But I do think worst case scenario, what's the worst that could happen? Okay, I get on this live, I look an absolute fool. I get a couple frown. Oh, you can't frown on Facebook, but you can give me a mad face or something. I don't know. Maybe they comment. Okay, I block them. Okay, they get nasty on Facebook. I block them. Next. I mean, so the point I'm trying to make is, what's the worst case scenario? You do it. It's not what you want. Learn from it and grow from it. And that's it. You got it out. And the more you begin to do things, it becomes second nature to you. And you're better, you're glowing, you're understanding. And now you can bless somebody else to go through what you just went through. So I love that, Jessie. Tell them how they can reach you. What's the best route? First of all, this tribe, let them know how they can get in your tribe, because you be dropping nuggets. I'm up in there. So tell them how they can get in your tribe. Tell them how they can support or be a part of your next program. I know with it being a new year, I don't know if you have a new coaching program. So let them know how they can get more of Jessie to get more of that confidence. What can they do? How can they follow you? How can they support you?
Yeah, the number one is getting into my group. It's called Unleash Your Confidence. And that's literally what we do inside the group. We give you all the tools to unleash your confidence. And for 2021, I'm running a program. I just named it today. So it's called Engagement to Influence. It's your guide to massive profile engagement, really, and what it is. And so what we're doing is I'm just giving you the tips on how to brand yourself properly, with, you know, pictures and cover photos, and how to build your friend list without without just adding people to your Facebook, like massively targeting people specifically, and putting yourself out there onto your Facebook profile so that you can build that know, like, and trust factor, so that people will come to you for whatever it is that you got going on, so that you've got your tribe of people who are cheering you on, right? You don't have that crickets on your business posts and on your Facebook posts. And so the whole idea behind this program is to get people out there on Facebook with massive engagement so that they can have more sales, they can have more leads coming in easily without paying for advertising. So that's my program. You can find me in my group. My group's got all the details on that as well too. And it's starting, it's going to be ongoing actually. It's a 4-week program, and it's going to be every month.
Love it, Queen. Yes. And this is my queen again from Canada, you know, British Columbia, because we out here. She said before y'all came on, she said she's from the West Side. So y'all didn't hear that. But okay, so don't mess with her. She's from the West Side of Canada. I didn't even know it was the West Side of Canada. Praise the Lord. But I'm just, again, you know, somebody told me that I missed my calling. I should have been a comedian. I crack myself up sometimes. You might not laugh. It's okay. You ain't got to laugh, Queen. You ain't got to laugh, honey. I make myself laugh. But so good. Love it. Jessie, don't y'all be laughing at me. Look, then I'll be like, don't laugh at me. Don't laugh at me. Look, like, please laugh. Don't laugh at me. So that's that emotion we be having as women. Y'all understand that. So thank you so much, Queen. I so appreciate you. They're definitely going to have all your information on your Facebook or on IG, how they can get in the group. That will all be available to you below, or check your emails. You will have that information, because I'm expecting you to connect with these queens. So Cynthia, Queen, tell us, give us that deep dive in your business, because like you said, I know you help with the webs, you do several things, but you help get the business owners in the game, is what I basically understand you to say. And then I believe I saw recently you even help people get on with the Better Business Bureau, right? Yeah.
I some stuff down.
Some official stuff. I love that. So talk to us, you know, to the heart of that entrepreneur who's wanting to grow, whether new or emerging. They're trying to level up in this season. Where does Cynthia's business come into place? How do you really help them achieve their goals?
Yes. So as a professional web designer, there's so many people out there doing what I do, right? And so the first thing is I don't think, no matter how saturated the market is, I believe everybody's unique. There's only one me. Okay, there's only one you, and in what you do, you're an expert. In what I do, I'm an expert. So when I talk to somebody who's like, hey, I think I need a website, I do a full discovery call to try to understand what you need. So a lot of times people will put a post out, I'm looking for a web designer, and most people will tag me. I'll go ahead and reply back and say, hey, you know, if you need help, just let me know. Here's my website, you know, if you want to book a call. But when I actually get on a discovery call with a new entrepreneur, I listen to where their heart is. Because they might not need a website right then. They might need to go back to the drawing board and figure out whether or not that's what they want to do in their business, right? They may not have a marketing strategy in place for what they're going to do with the website. A website is an inanimate object that is digital real estate if done right. Okay, it's a method. It is a transitional area for wealth. We talk about the transition of wealth all the time, and we just throw that around, but you kind of need a website for some of that too. You need some type of digital transference place to get your currency, get your coins inside of your business. And so when I listen to somebody and they're talking about all they want to do, the first thing I do is say, hey, let's settle down our thoughts. Let's talk. Let's take off just the web designer hat. Let's just take off all that. Let's get to the nitty gritty of where your heart is. And then once I get to where their heart is, I start listening to, like, if you don't have this website, where is your business going to be in 6 months? Where are you going to be in 3 months? Do you feel like you can't elevate or survive in business without it? And if you are at that point, you need one. If you feel like, oh, I can wait another 3-6 months, I'm doing, you know, a little Cash App, okay, then this is not the route for you, because Cash App cannot just be used on your website internally. Okay, you're going to have a more solidified merchant service to carry those funds over to your bank account. You got to get out of the Cash App stage and get to a different area in your business if you're really trying to have a website. So when I listen to people that I talk to, I try to get to the heart of what's really going on, those pain points. Okay, if it's not something that they really are looking for, I might be able to suggest another service that we offer that may cater more to where they are in their business. You may not necessarily need, you know, a website or anything like that. But to reach me, they can definitely give me a call at 256-770-4550. They can follow me online at Cynthia Videau or CBI Marketing Resource Center. They can always reach me there. You can DM me, you can message me, and we can always set up a time, or they can just go to cynthiavideau.com. You know, that's it. You can
Love it. I'm coming to get my free website. Y'all heard that? She said free websites. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She did not.
Yeah.
Don't you be taking those numbers and all that stuff. And just,
You're so funny.
No, we might work something out though. No, I'm just kidding. Fantastic. I love that, and I've seen some of your work as well. So I mean, I'm let me tell you, Mama, pay attention. Look, I'll probably end up doing some type of either a master class or something like that. But one of the things that I learned, I'm gonna say this super quick, and I keep saying from corporate, the reality is I grew up in it. I mean, I remember when I started in the field that I was in for this Fortune top 9 company, I was one of the youngest. I think I was the youngest at the time in my office. And so I was really groomed up in that, which is definitely a blessing for me now in my own business, now that I'm doing that full time. But, you know, learning these types of things, right? The website, learning this back system thing, you know, everybody wants to say they're a boss. I mean, that sounds cute. Let's just be real. Girl, I'm a boss, you know, I'm a CEO, you know, girl boss, broke boss. Stop playing. You need to be able to, can I be honest? I just want to be honest. That's not cute. You're going to have to get to one of my queens that I follow, and she's definitely a 7-figure, multi-million-dollar individual. I'm in one of her groups, but she talks about getting to the unsexy. We just want to get to the sexy. Like, girl, I'm just spending money, you know, because I got it. We don't watch one too many episodes of Real House, whoever. You know, which those queens do work, you know, not knocking any of them, fantastic, but we get caught up in that. And it's some of the unsexy stuff like saving the money, you know, putting in, honey, I have several. I think I've got Acorns, Stash, a couple of those apps that you can get where money just go. And I don't even think about it because it's just gone. Keep the change, roll the change. But then when you look, as Michelle said earlier, you got a couple $1,000s or maybe a couple $100. So what? I promise you, there are certain programs, softwares, or whatever, couple $100, and it's anytime I can pay things in full for my business, I strive to do that because most of them give you 20% off or 2 months free for the year if you pay in full. So I look at that as not that I'm spending all the money up front. I'm saving money on the back end. And when I save 20% over here and 20% with this program or software that I need to run my business, that all adds up to that next thing that I can use to invest in my business or my program, or who knows, maybe get a mani-pedi one time. So but you got to think like that. So that's really being the boss. So I love that. So Jenelle, queen, you are the bomb.com queen. You are so, let me just say, this queen, she is, first of all, I don't know if you can tell, she's from up top, you know. And when I say up top, for those who may be watching this outside of the United States, up top refers to the northern hemisphere in the United States. So, you know, but when she says skin in the game, and, you know, I love that authenticity. That's who you are, and that's why you win, queen. I know that to be true for a fact. That's why you're here. That's why we're connected. So, and she's well connected, by the way. So you need to connect. You know, there's certain things that I know because we're connected that are moving and shaking, and she don't say a thing. She just stay to the side. And I'm like, I know my queen orchestrated all that. I'd be like, yes, you know, until she put a post out, then I'd be like, yes. But otherwise, I'm like, I know my queen orchestrated that, honey. Do it. So tell them about the importance of getting with the right media, PR. Like, why is that important? And I'm just saying this one piece. I feel like, especially new businesses, they don't understand that. They think that's only for the Fortune 500 companies. Having media or being in the press or whatever, that's cute to them. Or even if they get that, they don't know how to leverage that. And so I know I try to help them with that in my team, but tell them how you help them. Tell them why it's important for them to get with, if not you, to get with someone like you to help their business level up, Jenelle.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. You guys are phenomenal. I'm from New York, and you know, they say we have the gift of gab, right? But one of the things, I'm a realist, you know, I don't take any BS. And I'm from the hood, you know, I'm from the ghetto. And one of the things growing up was my mom. She worked, she was a VP at Morgan Bank. And I'm like, okay, why are we living in a one bedroom? You know, what's wrong with that picture? But my mother was someone that never wanted to go outside of her region. She was comfortable. So I never wanted to be comfortable like her. I say this to say is that I wanted more for myself. So I did get into corporate America young, and then I learned that leadership, learned that network. Now, I'm from Brooklyn. I moved to Virginia, and I'm rolling with the big dogs. But my doctor that owned the practice was from New York. So he knew, wait a minute, this woman is hustling. And when I hustled with the gift of gab, but I hustled with authenticity, you know, hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming in. And again, I brought something different to the practice where I'm saying apples and orange. You know, because we're an eye doctor, we should get outside of the eye doctor. And, you know, I'm sure people in the real estate need the eyes, you know. So I put myself uncomfortable. I made myself uncomfortable and I mingled, you know, and that helped me figured out what I was lacking. Because, you know, from Brooklyn, you know, you're around the same old people. No one's trying to level up, right? But me watching my mom just stay in this one bedroom apartment and she was content, I rejected that lifestyle. So I've learned that I needed to be real. You know, walked into my doctor, I said, listen, you know, I've been here, I've seen people come and go, you know, I did this, I've done that, I want to raise. He was like, okay, have a seat. Well, what would you do with this raise? I want to purchase a house. I came from this. And I was just straight up with this doctor. And I said, oh, by the way, did you see all? He said, I saw all of that. I say this to say, you have to be true with yourself, true in the game. Now, I'm a straight hustler. I say that because what you see is what you get. You know, you're not going to see me say, you know, be this professional person and then it's like, oh, she cursed. Sometimes people can only relate to real things. So I went to him, you know, I dropped out of high school, you know, right at senior level, you know, had my son, but I said to him, I've been here and I've watched all these bachelors come in and they've lost. And the reason why I'm still here, because you're winning. And he said to me, Jenelle, I'm going to double your salary right now, put you here. And the first thing I did when I got that salary was bought my home at the age of 22 years old, okay? And watch this. When I shift positions and HR had to kind of confirm the home, and he said, oh, I saw you bought the home. I said, yeah. He says, now we can do business, because he saw that I was a woman of my dreams, of my goals. And I said what I said, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do. That moment taught me to be real no matter what. You don't have to lie in this business. You know, you don't have to lie to get over. Nakita talked about leveraging. You have to leverage on opportunities. However, I think we talked, someone said that, you know, sometimes when you talk about wealth, it's a scam. And those are the people that are comfortable. They're comfortable with their 9 to 5. They're comfortable with what they're making. And I'm just going to be honest. It takes women like you and I to change the game. We cannot expect and I have to say it, the average women to change the game. You know why? Because they are secure with where they are. So it takes us to come outside of the box, and guess what? We have to lead by example, because sometimes demonstration is the only communication that's out there. So I want to say this because I started a conference. I didn't know anybody. I started making some phone calls. I started researching. I was like, hey, you know, people flew into Florida. I didn't know anybody. And I say this because who's going to believe me? And then nobody's going to believe me. So I just have to do it. I'm my biggest cheerleader. And I got my letterhead together. I started emailing people. Hey, how you doing? Picking up the phone. Hi, my name is Jenelle. Blah, blah. And building these relationships. Cynthia talked about wealth, a system. It's a system. Now, I started doing co-authors, collaborations. And to be honest, this wasn't even about the book. This wasn't even about money, but this was about demonstration is key, right? So I did 2 books during the pandemic. Now, I say this because, again, demonstration is key. People want to see. The spectators are always, what is she doing? You know, the reviews. People look at reviews. So I utilize these women and I just dump them in the funnel. I started giving out clients. Did I need the money? Of course. Did I want the clients? But it was more so, what was my goal? Building relationships. That's what started the network. Okay? Sowing seeds. I kid you not. I run a janitorial business, and you look at contractors. Now, contractors make money, but contractors lose money because we get paid monthly. So you look at that budget. Now you look at, oh my God, $30,000 from January to February or March, that's a lot of money. No, because you got to buy the supplies, you know, your wear and tear in the car, you know, all these other things that come into play. So I'm going to tell you, I've learned who I was, meaning my gifts. What am I on this planet for? Serving. So seeds to me is my biggest thing. And my seeds, my spirit is currency for me, okay? And I sowed over $7,000 this year alone in the pandemic. I didn't have it, but I knew in order for me to trade with my God, and I'll say that because God, we're treasures in earthen vessels, and we have to know that. So I made a sacrifice to God because I'm saying, hey, this is the things that I need to do. You know, I want to be wealthy, of course, I'm working towards that, but they're women, they're women, and there are things that's needed from me. So are you a good servant? Are you truly who you are? So what I had to do, because this was my sacrifice to God, I'm going to show you who I am without having it. And I dwelled on manifestation, okay? And I sowed and I reaped. I knew I was going to reap elsewhere. So I got in line in networking, and I pulled out my Rolodex because I'm from New York and I've made a lot of contacts in New York, okay? And I just started to reach out to people, put myself in networking, sowing seeds. And who would have thought I'd be interviewing Jody Watley, you know, interviewing Will Downing, you know, just to name a few, because it's not about Hollywood, but it's about serving, you know, and your business might not be that currency. And I'm saying this because I'm more spiritual. I act out of the spiritual realm. And because I know how I'm harvesting, so it's systematic for me. So what I'm doing now, I don't coach, you know, I did the things that I needed to do this year, but in my family, we are millionaires, meaning my husband's a designer. My husband is a crazy visionary along with myself. So I started to pluck out. We're building our empire. We're building our empire. So right now for me, it's building the Harris legacy in order to promote and keep the things that we're doing alive. And all of this during this pandemic, I tell you what, this was not, you know, having a wig for what, 3-4 times and, you know, sheening it and washing it, you know, not doing my toes, sacrificing. And it was my commitment to God. Okay, God, the pandemic is here. Now, I don't know, and listen, I am not going to be up against something that I can't see. This thing is killing people. I had to take a stand. And this year was my stand. Hubby, what we gonna do? We gonna lay down, or what are we gonna do? It's time to put your talents in my talent. It's time for you to start to listen to me, and let's start to piggyback off of the strength and the weakness. And I'm telling you, my husband has a magazine, you know, he did time in prison, and that's a story. I have so much coming out for 2021. I've stayed with my husband. I've actually, this is the first platform that I've came out and I've said that. I was with my husband for 5 years, and during prison, and I picked out his talents. So this was a man that was single, and he had a heart of gold for God. I didn't look at the situation, but he knew who God was. And for that, I admired. And we've been working on Cons to Dons magazine in prison. We've been working on his fashion designing in prison. And we just birthed it. He has blazers, you know, the magazine. He's going inside the jail, mentoring these men, you know. So I tell you this, don't judge a book by its cover, but also tap into you. Now, when I met my husband in prison, because I had it all together, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing with a man in prison? But I'm going to tell you what, I knew he was my Boaz, okay? When I hugged him, I knew who he was. And I say that because growing up, I used to see this black shadow for years from a young kid. And I would always look back. The minute I met my husband, that shadow disappeared. And we are today married, going on 11 years, and we have tons of businesses together. So it's tapping into you, because no one can read this book than you and God. Ushering your step, you know, and investing. So you talk about investing, Nakita. I'm investing in my family's legacy. You know, my daughter has been a victim of bullying, and she's getting ready to write her book about bullying. You know, you know what I mean? My husband has been in prison, and he wants to set the captives free. You know, I'm a marketer, and I'm marketing, I'm writing for Sheen, writing for Inspire magazine, I'm doing networking, I'm doing virtual. So God said your gifts will make room for you. So that's what I'm doing. He says, in your belly shall flow rivers, rivers, rivers of the Holy Spirit. He says, walk by faith and not by sight. So I'm living the word of God. You know what I mean? And now I'm on this level where now I am picking the right people for my tribe. See, before I was just serving. And now I want to serve where it matters. Serve where it's valued. Because we can't just serve anywhere. And it took me a while to realize that. So I need to sow on good grounds in order for the manifestation to be fruitful, you know, and that's what I'm doing. But I had to learn the hard way, because God is saying, you can't take those birds with you because you're an eagle. Because they're not going to understand. No matter how you switch it, they're not going to understand because they're not ready to accept their flaws. See, I had to accept my flaws. I had to accept that, okay, you married a man in prison. You went through infidelity. You know, I had to accept life for what it is. And once I accepted it and embraced it, and me and my husband today is just, we accepted each other's flaws. You know, we met each other when we were both vulnerable, you know, because everybody needs somebody, you know, because they look at corporate America as marrying a thug in a sense, but this was a thug of what he knew, the streets. And now, look at him now. So that's why the magazine is called Cons to Dons, because yes, he was a con, you know, and then there were so many other cons with him. Now they're dons. Now they're going into these prisons. I have 25 criminal attorneys that want to be in this magazine. So I just say this to say I did things organically. I didn't look for, you know, this fame. I did it. And if I didn't get a like, if I didn't get a post, screw it. But what you see is what you get. And that was it. Being honest is where I am. And that's what it got me today.
Hey, woo, boy, I'm telling you. Sis, you know what? You know what I love? I love realness. I love authenticity. You know, I had a good vice president of mine before I left the corporate world, and I took this with me, and I say this to my queens, different boot camps or whatever I had. But you move at the speed of trust and transparency. And what you have a lot of times is folks want you to trust them, but they don't want to give you transparency, right? Transparency is not always gumdrops and lollipops. And you hear me say this because this is the verbiage we talk with our 13-year-old and our 3-year-old, but everything's not going to be gumdrops and lollipops and rainbows over the moon. You understand? Real things happen, especially being in business, you're dealing with real people and real situations happen. And guess what, Queen? You know what? I know several men that were incarcerated. You know, I know one that comes, first soon as you said that came to my mind. What about Joseph? He went from the prison to the palace, baby. And then people had to line up to ask them if they could get their portion. Child, don't get me started. Because, you know, people are sitting, want to look at you and this and that, honey, getting your word. Don't get me to preaching because this is the format. So I'm going to leave it right here. Yeah. But that means nothing. And those who take that information and try to judge, I encourage them to first take the plank out of their eye. You understand what I'm saying? Because anything that has happened in your life, see, the enemy wants you to be ashamed. The enemy wants you to feel like, oh, nobody. That's the only way God is going to use you to bless other people. Every single one of you, Michelle, your situations. I'm sure there are people that will want to, 7 kids. When did you say 7 kids? They go wherever they want to go in their mind. She got 7 kids. Whatever they think that means, not knowing your situation, not knowing you from a can of paint. You say 7 kids, whatever is associated with 7 kids. That's what they're going to pull out, not knowing the story and how God purposed you to go through your situation. Now you're blessing people all over the world with your testimony of how you have this blended family with your book and all of these things. Same thing for you, Jenelle, your whole situation that you just explained will bless people. Now your husband has Con to Dons and he's helping mentoring other young men who may feel like they're lost, like they're forgotten, like nobody cares. He's like, look, let me tell you something, young man. God did it for me. I'm over here. I was in that same cell block, but now I'm right here in front of this magazine. What's up? Come on.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
He started. So, I mean, every single queen here, Cynthia, you again with the weight, right? You know, I know that's what you shared with us. And many women, we look, yes, we may have great things inside of us, but let's just be real. Whatever we want in our mind, you know, our body, our mind, I love that your health is your wealth. So dealing with that whole emotion, you can help another queen. So yeah, you might be building a website, but you also building baby girl self-esteem. If she gets the opportunity to talk to you and get that story, you know, from you. Jessie, same thing, confidence, right? You said there were things people said, did, and you would let it slide. Angry, but you sit there with a smile while they did it, while they said it, because you didn't want to ruffle any feathers. But one day God said, nah, let me tell y'all something. Y'all not gonna be talking to Jessie like this.
That's right.
You know, and however that story went, you understand what I'm saying? So it's just, we all have a story to tell, and it's unique and it's beautiful, and it's nothing for us to ever be ashamed of. So Queen, if you're watching this, whether live or on the replay, whatever your story is, whatever your background is, whatever you've come through, whatever your mama did, daddy did, cousin, auntie, and them, look, it doesn't matter. Take that, what you perceive to be as mud, what you perceive to be as this taboo thing, or the thing you want to keep deep dived in your closet. Take that and let it propel you. You can either let the pain keep you in your own prison, or you can take that pain and use it as the bricks to build your palace. It's up to you. These women that you're seeing right here, that means right here. I'm from the South. Right here means right here. I'm from the South. I am from the South. Okay. But what that means is, these women that you're speaking to, these women successful, they're movers, they're shakers, they're building their kingdoms, their empires, they're doing amazing things. Don't be astonished when you see them on Forbes. Okay. Check them out. They've gone through something too. So have I. Oh my gosh. I'll probably write a book one day on it. You know, but see, I haven't put all these books out. I'm like, honey, when my book come out, I mean, which I have books out, but you understand, the next one, oh my gosh, I don't know. I say, Lord, are they ready? I don't know if they're ready. I'm gonna give it to them one day. Just hold tight. So I love it. That's so good, Queen, and thank you for sharing that and just being raw and just being who you are. You are who you are, and that's why I rock with you. Look, is what it is. I love it, love it, love it, love it. So Michelle, Queen, QC, where we be now in the ATL. Oh, let me say this real quick. Now, Jenelle, did you give them how do they follow you, Queen? How do they follow you?
Yeah, so sheexists.org, www.sheexists.org. So, you know, because they're going to come to me. I'm going to send them to you, you know, because that's what I do.
I like that. Pass the peas.
They come to me and I send them, and it's like, whoa. I said, trust me, you'll get the same kind of service just because I'm offline and online. So I get them and I get them out.
Come on, that's what you do. I love that. And I'm cooking up something I'm gonna get with these queens, and you guys may know in the near future, but just hold tight. Okay, thank you, Queen. So Michelle, last but certainly not least, and then I'm gonna come through with one final thought, and we're gonna bless it for tonight. But Michelle, let them know truly, you know, how you serve the women or the men in this season. I know you've got your book, but just elaborate why they need to get connected with you and what you've got. And then please let them know how they can reach out. They might want to have you on their platform.
So I like the way that you said in this season, because, you know, sometimes a lot of people look at what I do and say, oh my gosh, she's all over the place. She's got 6, 7 businesses. How does she focus in on something? Well, I do it because I make sure that I have people in place to do what needs to be done to feed into whatever business needs to be fed into. And the season that I'm in right now is about giving back the knowledge that I obtained when I started blending my family. You know, right now, like, my family is wonderful. When we get together, we laugh, we have fun, we clown. It's amazing. It's 6 of them boys. Listen, when you have a house full of testosterone, it was 6 boys, a husband, 2 male dogs. I went and rescued a cat and flipped them over and said, really, Jesus? Really? You couldn't give me no female in my life? Like, they didn't. You can't decorate anything. You can't have nothing cute in your house. You make them stop at the laundry room because they smell like the great outdoors, like just waking up. It's just, but when I entered into my blended situation, I didn't come from that world. I didn't come from my environment. My parents are still together. My aunts and uncles are still together. I didn't know anything about a blended family. What I knew was there was this man that was the man of my dreams, and that God told me that we were supposed to be together. Now, let me tell you how that happened. He didn't get the same memo though. Him and Jesus didn't have the same, they wasn't on the same prayer line that I was on. So when we first got together, he thought I was insane by telling him that he was the man of my dreams. So, but it worked out. And when we pulled these kids together, as 2 single people that was used to managing their household, it was rough. It was traumatic. It was it was trying and testing, and especially when you or two people get into a relationship and with no kids, you have a chance that y'all can go to the movies, y'all can date, y'all can get to know each other, like y'all share these things and talk to each other and can't wait to get home from work. When you get together and you got 5 kids already in the household, like there's no time. There's no time for us to, as the parents, to go and have these moments and these great big, oh my God, the roses is out there. No, it was, this one didn't get their homework done. This one over here is broke into the computer over here doing something they ain't supposed to be doing. This one over here done touched don't put that toy down, give that back to him. What's going on with dinner? What's going on with work? So we hit the ground running. And what we had to learn was how to have a relationship in between the chaos. And so when I wrote this book, I start the book out and I tell people, I'm not writing from a clinical perspective. When I first got my family together, I started Googling stuff. I was like, okay, so I know I'm gonna find me a book that's gonna be able to help me through that. It was real clinical, y'all. And that was cute. Not to knock anything about the clinical folks. Hats off to y'all. We all need some therapy every once in a while. Thank you, Jesus. However, from the sleep-deprived woman that was insecure, that was going through all type of postpartum depression, that was exhausted, that felt like she had no place, that felt like that other people, outside people, had influence on what was going on with the children in my home. That was a lot. So I couldn't read the clinical stuff. I needed something to speak to the woman that was sitting on the side of the bed with a pillow in her hand, trying to figure out if she legally, through CSI, through all the CSI she watched, could she smother her husband and get away with it and still
I'm glad that plan didn't work out.
I'm just playing. I love my husband. I love my husband. Don't email me. Don't write me. Please don't send nobody to the house, okay? Because my husband is healthy and fine. But what I'm saying is, I needed somebody to give me some real talk. I needed someone to tell me that it was okay to be jealous. It was okay to feel insecure. It was okay not to know how to do this. So I wrote this book to speak to people that was in that place where I was. 20 years down the line, we've made it. We've made it to the other side. Our children are a lot older now, so I can get feedback from the kids and even give you perspective from the kids' position. So you ask, why would you reach out to Michelle? Why would you talk to Michelle? I offer counseling. I offer coaching for families. I have the book, but I did this because I found once I put the book out there that people were needing that real talk. They were needing that person that they can call, and whether you need to yell it out, cuss it out, cry it out, whatever you need to do, I had no judgment for you. I never made anybody feel like that where you were in your process, in your plan, there was something wrong with it. So from my coaching, I always offer, just like Cynthia's hard. I love the way that she said that we're trying to dig in, and I have 30 minutes that we talk about really what you're trying to get. Not the fact that you're trying to figure out how the baby mama's wrong and how he's wrong and how everybody, let's focus in on what you need. What is this about you? Because you can't be the best mother, bonus mom, stepmom, wife, entrepreneur, business person, single person. You can't be the best of anything until you are the best of you. And so a lot of people don't know how to start that search and that journey into who they are. Because real talk, we're going to uncover some things that you might not be that really proud about. But we're not going to judge about it. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take that, what Beyonce said, so we're going to make some lemonade. That's what we're going to do. We're finna make some lemonade. I'm sorry, I'm from South too, so finna is a real word. In case y'all need to have to say something, okay? My husband's from New Jersey, so he corrects my language all the time. Don't judge. But anyway, so what we're getting ready to do, we're going to sit down and we're going to take that abuse. We're going to take that emptiness. We're going to take that loneliness. We're going to take that jealousy and insecurity that you're feeling. And what we're going to do is we're going to empower you with some new tools on how you take where you're feeling right now, where you at right now, and turn it into the platform to level you into where you need to be. Stop trying to mask things. Stop being embarrassed about how you struggling. I love your story, talking about you and your husband and in prison, because life ain't pretty. It's not pretty. It's none. Listen, once we rip an eyelash off and throw his hair back or whatever, all my friends know I am a Home Depot Lowe's chick. Do you understand what I'm saying? Home Depot, and this cuteness right here, if it wasn't for my husband, he has to shop for me, y'all. I'm just gonna put that out there. That is not my thing, but all this takes a lot of people to pull this together because I'm comfortable in who I am. But I've been through the abuse. I've been through the divorce. I've been at my bottom. I've been where I had no money. I got laid off of my job because I had kids. When I was a single mother, I had kids, which caused me my job. Never fired her. Wasn't fired. She didn't fire me. It was a layoff. I got laid off from my job because of the fact that I had to go and pick my baby up from daycare on time. And so I'm driving home with $4 in my purse and 3 kids at the house. So I pulled into McDonald's and I bought 3 cheeseburgers, not them little cute cheeseburgers, like them 50 cent. They was on way back when. 50 cent cheeseburgers and 2 of the small fries. And I took it into the house. I sat it on the table. I gave each one of the boys a burger and I split the fries. And I went into my room and I sat in a dry tub, locked the bathroom door and cried because I was too embarrassed to even face my own children. I'm telling you the story because I want you to understand that this book wasn't birthed out of what I heard, what somebody told me. The book was birthed out of that woman who was sitting in the tub crying. And when I walked out of my bathroom, my oldest son had put the kids in the bed and he had left me a little pizza-sized portion of the burger. Because I told him, I said, well, he said, Mommy, where's your food? I said, Mommy's on a diet. And so he left me a little piece of portion of his burger with some fries and said, I think I'm on a diet too, Mommy. Now that son is 30 years old now. And that son can tell that story to everyone around. And what he said to me was, Mom, I know you didn't have any money. Even though I tried to hide it, I tried to pretend like I had it all going together. But my story, what I went through, one thing them boys knew was, even though the lights may be turned off for the next 2 days and we ain't got no money, we all in this together. It's gonna be us. We're gonna ride this out. It's a ride or die. And so that platform turned them into the great men that they are. So what I try to do is I tell people when they come to me that's struggling, that you feel like that all hope is gone, that my bank account is empty, that my husband doesn't love me, nobody's paying attention to me, I don't have any control over my kids, there's baby mama drama going on. Got you. And it's okay. So now here's what we're gonna do with that. Here's what we're gonna do with that. We're gonna take all of that and I'm gonna show you how there's still a powerful queen deep inside. There's still a force to be reckoned deep inside that pain, that story, that struggle, that we're going to get you to the other side. And when you get to the other side, it is so much better. It is so much better. But we're going to take this, and your other side may not be her other side. Your other side may not be his other side. In this relationship, it may not end up being where y'all are going to end up being together. But what you're going to come out of is better than what you were sitting in it. What's going to happen on the up, no matter what, the bank account, the marriage, whatever happened, them kids don't grow up. You don't feel like it right now with y'all young babies, but they do grow up. But they do. They grow up, they leave. But where you are right now, where you are empty. There was a moment in time before I got divorced, I was sitting on the side of the bed with 3 bottles of pills because I knew I had nothing else left. Nothing. He had drained everything out of me. I had to do my work. And so when you reach out to me and we sit down and we do this session, when you buy the book Unspoken, it's written in scenarios. So it's not a self-help thing. You drop into someone else's trauma. You drop into the conflict, and conflict is not always just the couples. There's parent conflict, there's influences with other people on the outside, there's finance conflict, there's sex conflict, there's physical conflict, there's emotional conflict. There's a whole bunch of things that this book addresses: drugs, alcoholism, all of the things that seem to happen, especially in this blended world, that we seem to be embarrassed to talk about. We seem to hide behind the closed door, and we carry this, like Erykah Badu, what she said, bag lady? We carrying all these bags, and then you try to step out there and handle that 9 to 5, or run that corporate business, or try to be that entrepreneur, but you're not built for that. We are not, Cynthia said it the best, we are not built for some of these things that we are placing ourselves into. We are human beings. We need human connection. We need love. For all of my ladies out there that always run around and say, I don't need nobody, I'm gonna do it all by myself. You are not doing yourself any justice with this story. You are not helping develop yourself into the true person that you're supposed to be. Not everybody's gonna be an entrepreneur. But if you're going to be out there and be that janitor, you're going to be the best janitor out there, because that's your calling. If you're going to be out there and be that garbage person, you're going to be out there singing and dancing because you're happy in where you are. So as a coach, my difference, that what I bring you different than a lot of coaches, I don't tell you your story. You tell me your story. And then we're going to build on your story and make it better for you, not better for me, not better for Nakita, not better for Cynthia, not better for it, better for you, so that when you walk out there and after you do your work, you hold your head up and you can be just like me and say, I was abused, I was neglected, I was ready to kill myself, I was at the end of my rope, but guess where I'm at right now? I am a queen. I am powerful. I am healthy. I am happy. Being a wife does not mean that your husband makes you who you are. Your children are going to grow up and they're going to leave you by yourself. So if you can't figure out who you are, not who your mama wants you to be, not who your husband wants you to be, not who that reality show person say that you're supposed to be, but in your heart, when you wake up, at the age of 3, I knew I was supposed to stand on the stage somewhere in front of thousands of people. Now, when she was being laid off of the job, when she was broke, when she was in the middle of divorce, when she was running around there, I kept saying, now, Jesus, I know what vision you gave me, so I'm not understanding where we at right now, because this is not happening right now, Lord. Why that car out there is about to be repossessed, because that is not the stage presence that you told me we were supposed to have. And you know what I learned? Not yet. But I had to build my story. I can't relate to you. You can't come to me and talk to me about the pain and suffering that you've been through if I ain't been through no pain and suffering. Be careful on who you open up to. If those people haven't lived some life, that's not the person you need to talk to. Position yourself when you are dealing with a counselor, dealing with a coach, dealing with a partner, dealing with a relationship. Position yourself with someone who has something reflective of your story. Reflective. As in, when you stand there and you look in the mirror, that person that's standing on the other side, whether that's your spouse, whether that's your job, whether that is your business, that's on the other side of you is a reflection of who you really are. And that's what we do. That's what Unspoken is here for. We are going to open up this dialogue about blended families. I have no idea why it's such it's almost taboo to talk about the fact that you in the blended family. Nakita, child, I know what they saying about me with 7 kids. Oh my God, she out there, she just putting it out there. She got all kinds of folks. Yep, whoever. I made a Christmas ornament, and it is a jagged piece of puzzle, and all of our last names are filled into those pieces of the puzzle. And right in the middle of it, what it says, we still family. You ain't got to have my last name. That baby ain't got to have that last name, but they know where home is. They know where their parents are. They know, I don't make up titles. I don't call myself anything. Listen, if my stepchildren were in the house with me, but I don't try to replace their mother. But it took time to get there. You cannot do this on your own. You cannot, and this is for single people. If you look at it, listen, statistics say, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, statistics say 50% of the children born today are born to single family homes. 60% of the first marriages in divorce. 70% of the multiple marriages in divorce, mainly because of the children. Because they cannot understand how to put these together. So if you're single out there and you say, well, I don't need a book like Unspoken because I'm not in a blended family, the chances are, numerically, if 50% is born to single family, 60% is already out there in the divorce, the chances are you are at 47% that you will have a chance to meet someone that has a child. And like my daddy said, you can't help who you fall in love with. So if you fall in love with someone that has a child, then you need the tools to be able to deal with that. If you come from a blended family, there may be some emptiness that you have found coming from your own blended family. Because your mother or your father or your stepfather didn't have the tools to be able to feel you. Sometimes your parents cannot feel you. So as an adult, you have to figure out the way to plug in and feel yourself. And that's okay. So I will say, get Unspoken. You can find me at www.michellesthomas, that's 2 L's, MICHELLES Thomas.com. Unspoken got so big, y'all, let me tell you, I'm gonna show you the book. This Unspoken right here. Unspoken got so big, it had to have his own little website. So you can find and follow Unspoken, the community about blended families. We have blogs. We are here for people to come and send questions, share their stories. Unspoken's website is www.unspokenrealtalk.com. If you're looking for someone to come and speak to your groups, I am available. Go on to either site and you can reach me. If you are a friend of Nakita and you couldn't figure out what word that I said because I'm too country for you, then you call Nakita and Nakita's gonna call me. I go anywhere because my purpose is to make sure that we stop this perpetuation of our children being left empty in the home because we are too empty to fill our children. Wow. So that is my spiel. I love these ladies. Y'all have been wonderful. Y'all have been amazing. Thank you, Nakita, for even finding this charlatan girl. We got a lot of work to do, girl. We got a lot of work to do.
Come on. We ready. I'm lining it up, honey. If I can take a breather. I'm just trying to get stuff lined up. Look, Queen, I don't know if you noticed, we was all over here. I'm over here like, now, girl, you the host. You're the host. Dry it up. You know, so trying to like, girl, she's not gonna get these lashes come off. They gotta last for 6 more minutes. 6 more. Okay, that's M-O. Okay, so 6 more minutes. So good. So y'all see, this is why I do this. I'm gonna be honest with you. All of these women and the women you've heard before, after, what have you, this is why I do this, because we get so, let's just be real, we're all, at least the queens I know, booked and busy, sometimes feeling blessed, sometimes not, but the point is we're always so busy. We need platforms to sit and talk and have that real talk. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the queens, you know, we talked about it earlier about people being smarter than you, honey. Please, on paper, Probably about 95% of them. I mean, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I know I'm intelligent. I don't have any issue with that. But on paper, honey, PhDs, and talked to one queen, had 3 masters. She said something. I thought she was speaking another language. She was like, no, I have 3 masters. Oh, you got 3 masters? I'm like, dang, I don't have one. Jesus, where's my one? I wasn't jealous. I love it. I love it. Because guess what? I need you. Oh, for real? I'm going to hit you up. Queen, can you do? They know. I hit it quick. My queens know. I will hit somebody. Hey, queen, what are you doing? Jessie, no. I done slid her DM. Queen, hey. Yes. So what people don't realize in this season, it's not about what you know. It really is who you know, who you're connected with. Jesus is the main source. I just did a article for a magazine, and I was so grateful. It was the oh Lord, I can't remember the name of it, but it was can't even remember it. The Power 2020, I think it was, and they were, you know, celebrating 20 powerful women. I was grateful that I was a part of that, and they asked me what I thought the word power meant, and of course, being an ordained minister, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, that's true power. And I said you have to be careful about what you're connected with, because power is only as good as its source. So what's your source? Check your source. What's your source? You want to know the power. Have you ever had your cell phone and maybe you got a Samsung or an iPhone, but then you got the knockoff version that maybe Walmart has for whatever reason? You notice how quickly your phone gets charged up. When you got the legit one, oh, my phone is charged up. I was on -0, and now it's charged up in 10 minutes. You use that. Not knocking Walmart. Let's not use Walmart. My partner with you one day. Notice how I am being careful. But the point I'm trying to make is you get some other type and it takes forever. Or you go back to it 2 hours later and you got 2% now. You're like, wait a minute, 2 hours and 2%? What are you connected to? It might be power, but what's the source? Check
What's
your
the
source.
socket?
Come on, what's the socket, the source? Check the electrical wiring. What's going on the inside? And you trying to get connected to it. You can't run up and get connected with anybody and everybody. It's got to be connected to the ultimate source. So, but I say all that to say, getting connected with, I can't emphasize it enough. Michelle, Jessie, Jenelle, Cynthia, all the Girl on Fire women that you've spoken to, authentic, real at its finest. They are real women. They are making boss moves. They have real faith. They've overcome challenges like nobody's business. You haven't even heard the half. Okay, you're gonna have to catch it in their best-selling books, or maybe you'll catch it on Lifetime. Oh, hello, somebody. Let's speak that in the atmosphere. So I'm just saying, you know, get connected with some real ones in this season 2021, so you can flourish and you can do everything that God has put on the inside of you, because greater is on the way. This is how you become a girl on fire. So as we wrap it up, 15 seconds, your last thought. I'm gonna just round it out, 15 seconds, and we're gonna wrap it up and bless you guys as you go into your 2021. Jessie, 15 seconds. This is the last thing you say to these Girl on Fire women. What would you say? What do you want to impress in their heart? She doesn't want to impress anything because she's on mute. So there you go. Cynthia, next. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She's just going, oh, honey, you're down to 6. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Queen.
Just whatever you believe you can achieve is truly what you can achieve, and you can never outperform that. You can never outperform what you believe. And so just, what did I say earlier? Just do it.
Nike, I'm coming for you. Holla at a sister. We might work on something new. It's pandemic. We can do some things. Reach out. Nike. Okay. Cynthia, 15 seconds, Queen. Give it to me.
All right. So just want you to remember this. Like, your greatest competition is always going to be yourself. Every day that you wake up, just try to be better than you were the day before. Don't keep looking at everybody else. Sometimes you have to close your eyes and focus internally on what it is that you want to do. So make sure your greatest competition, the greatest thing that you're looking at, is how you can maximize and elevate your own personal life, your own personal you, your own personal brand. And don't hesitate to reach out for support, for help, friend up, get a good nucleus around you, and make sure you have the right circle for where you're going.
Love it, Queen. Love it. Come on, friend up. I mean, I like that. I love words. Anyway, okay. Love that. Jenelle, Queen, 15 seconds. Give it to them.
When you get to know yourself, trust yourself.
Oh, that's it. Drops mic. Hello.
That's it.
Hello. Ooh, okay. If you didn't pick the rest up, you losing, queen. Love it, queen. Love it, love it, love it. Miss Michelle over here trying to get our lashes off, and we just don't have time for your foolishness. I don't need friends like you. No, I'm just kidding. I need friends like you. Go ahead, queen. Tell them. 15 seconds. Tell them.
15 seconds. Here's what I want you to always remember. You deserve health, happiness, peace, and love. And if there's anything that you're doing that doesn't contain those four, it's not the right thing.
Boom. Love it, love it, love it, y'all. This has been just I could go on, I'm be honest with you, but we got women all over the US, internationally. It's late. We got kids, husbands running up on you. I don't know if y'all seen us trying to shoo people away. Like, we still on an international virtual conference. It's gonna be seen all over the globe. Like, literally, Nakita's gonna show us the stats in about a week, and we're gonna be like, dang, we were in Singapore? We were in Singapore. Come on, queen. But that's how it is when you're a boss mom and you're a girl on fire and you still have family and you still have responsibilities. They totally don't care that you're over here kicking hiney and taking names. They just want some chili Fritos. They just want some milk. They just want to spend time with their wife. You know, that's what that's a whole nother story. The man, door closed. Okay, whole nother story. God bless the men. They kings too. Look, this is your girl, Minister Nakita Davis, the proud CEO and founder of Jesus Coffee and Prayer Christian Publishing House, the #1 Christian publishing house in the land. And you have tuned into a dynamic, didactic, all that good stuff episode of Girl on Fire. Queen, it's time to play your royal position. We love you. God bless you. I'm expecting your 2021 to just show up and show out. Reach out. God bless you. Good night.
Good night.
Let me tell you this, see, I rock my own money. Keep talking, can't tell me nothing, no.
I went from making $75,000 a year to $75,000 a month. You talk about a girl from the hood, a girl who ain't know nothing about having money in the bank. Literally. How's that happen? It's a God thing. It's a God divine timing thing. It's a divine orchestration with women like this who see greatness in you and are willing to open the doors.
Women of faith. Now I'm gonna say this may hurt just a little bit. We think we can just stay in that little cubicle, that little corner. Oh, I know God, I can pray, I can do all this. We just do that. And we say things, I'm waiting on God. He's sitting back like, girl, can y'all tell them I'm waiting on them? They're not waiting on me. You're not waiting on me. It's already done.
Hello everyone, it's your girl Coco from SWV, and you're watching Girl on Fire, hosted by Jesus, Coffee, and Prayer. Now, my definition of a girl on fire is myself. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, a sister, a friend, entrepreneur. I'm fabulous, but most of all, I'm a king's kid. Much love and God bless.
God has graced you to create. He just gave that to me just now. I didn't have that before. He has graced you to create, right? So if the first thing our Heavenly Father did was create, so the question is, what has He called you to create?